Hello, welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment and the boxing capital of the world. Well, today we have a special guest, a dear friend of mine that we go back about 20 years, Steve Canton. Steve Canton is director of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, and this coming end of June, he'll be having the inductions. So let's get Steve Canton on the show right now. Steve, welcome to the show, buddy.
Joe, it's always a pleasure to be with you and see you. You know, we do go back a lot of years. I remember you and your brother Mike back in 1961 in New York as I'm growing up, and you guys are stars in the amateur scene back then. So, yeah, we go back a few years.
Yeah, that's right. You do remember those days when I was kicking some ass out there in New York City.
I remember well.
when I was winning the Novice and the Open Championship and the Eastern Championship, the national championships. It was back in the good old days when I was a flyweight, a bantamweight, and featherweight.
That's right. I remember 1961 was a big year.
Yes,
It was not only the Mantle Maris baseball year, it was the Cortez brothers shining in the Golden Gloves in New York.
That's right. You got great memory. I'm glad you bring that up to our viewers out there. It was good. It was a good thing coming up from a tough neighborhood of Spanish Harlem in New York. You know, they were gangs, they were drugs and all that stuff. And we decided to join boxing because the great legend in boxing, Gaspar Elinio Ortega, who came up from Tijuana, Mexico, moved into my neighborhood right next door to where I lived. And that's how my brother Mike and I got started in boxing. He's the one that planted the seed of us becoming fighters. So I joined the Boys Club of New York along with my brother Mike. And that's when we took the Novice Championship in 1960 with 15,000 fans in Madison Square Garden. And
that was when the amateur club, the shows would draw more than what pro shows are drawing today, mostly.
Exactly.
And you bring up Gaspar Indian Ortega. What a warrior he was, world traveler. A lot of great memories, Joe.
Yeah. Gaspar Ortega had like 185 professional fights. And he only got stopped twice. One by Emil Griffith when he fought for the title with Griffith, and one by Sandro Mazzinghi in Italy. And it was TKO stops. They were not. He never got knocked out. They stopped the fight.
Correct.
And but Gaspar had a granite chin. He was a slick boxer. He was a big crowd pleaser. And I remember following him when he was, going to the gym, to the Steelman's gym up in Manhattan. Then he'd go to Bobby Gleason's gym. Those are the two gyms that Gaspar Ortega trained from. And that's when I got into it. I got into the game. I said, well, I'm going to do like my brother Mike. My brother Mike started first. Then I joined my brother Mike. And then we went into the Golden Gloves in 1960. And you know the history behind all of that already.
Most definitely. What great memories they were. And Gaspar Ortega, when you said Mazzinghi stopped him in a TKO, that's really at 154. And Gaspar's proper weight really was 147. He'd fight anybody, anytime. And, always put on a show, like you said. Yes.
Yeah, if you look at the record book, you see a Gaspar Ortega. I think he had like 25 fights in 1 year. I mean, I think it was 25 or 28 fights in 1 year. I think it was 1965, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, he was fighting like 2 or 3 times a week. It was unbelievable. It's unheard of.
No, yeah. Joe, I remember when you were refereeing out of New Jersey for years, then made the long trip to Las Vegas many years ago, and we've been there ever since. So,
yes.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you in June, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Well, I started refereeing back in 1977, and I got my license in New York City first. I started doing the Golden Gloves, and after I was doing like the Golden Glove tournament, there was a gentleman by the name, a deputy commissioner from New York City named Frank Morris. He says, Joe, can you come up to the office? I want to talk with you. I said, what the heck are they calling me for, to go to the New York Commission for what? I'm only an amateur referee. So I went up there anyway to see what he wanted. He said, Joe, I was watching you last week in the championship fights in Madison Square Garden where you referee 2 title fights, and one of them was a featherweight from New York. I forgot his name, but anyway, they had me. They were watching me and said, Joe, we want you to turn pro. I said, I've only been doing this 6 months. I've only been in the amateurs 6 months. They told me you got to be 3 to 5 years in the amateurs before you even consider going pro. He said, we're going to turn you pro now, and we promise you that we'll give you to start doing the undercard 4-rounders, 6-rounders the first year or so. And we'll get you going from there. So I went up there, he gave me my license, and then that was the rest. The rest is history. Then I went to New Jersey one day watching the show in Atlantic City, and there was a gentleman that said, Joy, do you know the commissioner over there? Jersey Joe Walcott. I said, no, I never met him. He said, come on, I want you to introduce you to him. So I went and met Jersey Joe Walcott, and he said, oh, you're that little skinny Puerto Rican from New York. I've been watching you refereeing in New York. He said, are you licensed in New Jersey? I said, no, I'm not licensed here. He said, well, you know what? I want you to come back next week. Go see Bob Lee, who's my assistant. And so I went the following week, and I got my license for New Jersey. Then I was refereeing New York and New Jersey. That's how it all started. So I did 15 years back east, and then the Nevada Commission recruited me out here in 1992. I've been here since 1992. I did 20 years here. In 2011, I decided to pack it in after 35 years. Anyway, but it's not about me. I want to talk more about you. I remember you and I went to the Bahamas when they had some championship fights in the Bahamas, and I went out there. You remember that day we were doing some fights, and I didn't like the way the canvas was in the ring?
I definitely remember that, Joe. It was a heck of a weekend. We get ready to start the show. The canvas wasn't right.
They had no padding.
The guy actually went, yeah, there was no padding under it. The guy actually went to his house, took the living room carpet out of his house, ripped it out, and put that as the padding for the canvas.
Right.
Because we were delayed. And what was interesting about it is we had 2 world title fights on that same show. And we joked about it because the 2 guys actually won their titles on 2 different days because the show was delayed. And the second guy won his title. It was after midnight. They joke and say, oh, I won the title the day before you did.
Yeah.
It was on the same show.
Yeah, and I was a referee for 2 fights. But I was the referee that came in when I came to check the ring before the fight, and the crowd was already in the arena. I said, wait a minute. Hey, guys, we can't have a fight in here with no padding on. Only a canvas. It was wood underneath, and then just a canvas on the top. Where's the padding? I said, I can't referee. I'm not going to let these guys fight without a padding on here. And that's when the promoter, whoever he was, they went to their house and cut the carpet off of the living room, and it would delay like 2 or 3 hours, but you know what? The show went on, and the championship went on. And good thing that it was satisfied, not 100%, but it was satisfied. I was satisfied with it. I said, okay, so okay, we can go with the show now. But thank God nobody even got knocked down in that fight.
No, but I'll tell you what, they were great fights. It ended up being a great show, great performance.
Yeah.
You had Lou Tabbitt with you from Vegas as a judge that time.
That's right.
He came in for the trip.
Yes,
Another interesting thing about that weekend, you might recall this, we were looking forward to, after the weekend, coming over to the house with me here in Fort Myers, going out on the boat and relaxing. We were going to do that for a day or 2 after the show.
Right.
But what happened was, I had to stay there because we were not getting paid by that promoter, if you recall, after that. So what happened was I stayed in the Bahamas over the weekend, changed my name, moved to a different hotel so they wouldn't know who I was because they weren't the most reputable people. And I waited till Monday to go to the commission. Meanwhile, that Saturday, you were back in Fort Myers. You were out in my boat. You were enjoying the river without me there. And I'm over there trying to get the money. And fortunately, I did get the money on Monday. Flew back with the money, paid everybody that had money coming to them. And then next day you took off for Las Vegas. That was a heck of a weekend.
I'll tell you, you got great memories. I'll tell you, David. I remember those days; they were like unbelievable. And I said, God, when is Steve coming home? I'll tell your wife, when is Steve coming home? You know, and the fighters were there. They were just amazing. You had to have it was a battle of your own, and you won the championship, coming back with the money.
I'll tell you what, it was something. Yeah, just a great memory. The other thing I remember too is my wife said you actually just to waste some time you detailed her car for her. I did what? You might not remember. You detailed her car for her, cleaned it up, made it look good. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I remember that.
Well, you know me. I'm always trying to do the right things for everybody. You know.
There you go.
Yeah, and anyway, I'm fair, but I'm firm, and I got a big heart. You know that.
exactly right.
Hey, Steve, tell me. So let's talk about the. I'm going to be the MC for your event, your international, the induction, the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame event coming this June.
Right. It's going to be a big one for us because it's actually the 15th anniversary of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame.
Uh-huh.
It began in 2009, and now with our 15th year, we've got some real good headliners getting inducted. So we're really looking forward to it. This year it'll be at the St. Pete Hilton, which for us is a new hotel. We were in St. Petersburg at the Marriott down the street for the last couple of years. However, the Hilton is much larger. It has a 9,200 square foot ballroom for our pro show and for our gala dinner. So we'll have more room in a modernized, newly renovated hotel. So it's in St. Petersburg. The date is June 30, Friday, July 1 and 2, Saturday, Sunday. And we have the Boxing Hall of Fame website is www.floridaboxinghalloffame.com. On the website is the link to purchase tickets for that great event. And I will make an announcement right here that says I am looking especially forward to it for another reason. I'll have another time to get together with you, Joe, as you'll be flying in here to be the keynote speaker for the weekend.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it's going to be an honor being with you, brother, because, you know, you and I go back many years, and it's an honor to be, you know, to being the speaker for the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. There's going to be a lot of celebrities there, a lot of good friends, and it's going to be an event that you boxing fans who live in the area or want to fly in, you should really look into it. Hope you guys can be there in person so we can shake hands and take pictures, sign autographs, whatever you guys want. With all the champions are going to be there, going to be great. And being around you, Steve, I know you're going to make it special.
And you know, I will say this: I've already told some people that you're coming in as a keynote speaker, and I got some of the guys in my gym are looking forward and excited to be meeting you. And actually, can I actually talk with Mr. Cortez? Can I actually shake his hand? I said, yes. Joe is a super nice person that you'll enjoy spending some time with. The class of inductees is just outstanding. Roy Jones Jr. will headline the class. Roy will be there. We've got Ozzy Ocasio getting inducted. We've got the great Alfredo Escalera getting inducted. Vivian Harris, who you remember from New York, from Ghana.
Right.
Guyana, and he's now living in Florida. He's getting inducted. We've got Joey Negron. We've got Ada Velez, David Eisenreich. Just a great group of fighters and support cast. 20 inductees. We got a couple of special award winners. The weekend is fabulous too, Joe. If I might describe a little bit what happens on Friday night. It starts out with a professional boxing event promoted by T&K Boxing Promotions, who are our partners for the weekend. And Jesus Escalera, the promoter, not only does a great job on that, but he's also getting inducted this year as a promoter for the state of Florida. So that'll be the Friday night event, will be the pro show. Saturday morning, everybody gets up early because they start mingling with the fans as they come in. We expect a couple of thousand people for the weekend. There'll be fist castings, and there'll be radio interviews, and there'll be signings and book signings and autographs and pictures and seminars going on all during the day Saturday. Then we'll break in the evening and come back for a formal dinner. At the formal dinner at night will be the special award winners. The Hall of Fame gives a $1,000 scholarship to a high school senior for college. And we also have a Walter Butch Flansburgh $2,500 memorial scholarship that we give out. And then we'll come back on Sunday morning with breakfast with the inductees. Then the formal induction ceremony itself, which is streamed worldwide via the internet. And then we finish off with coffee and cake. So the weekend is great. You don't want to miss it if you're a boxing fan.
Okay, so the actual induction is going to be on Sunday.
Correct, yes.
Okay, what time will that take place?
We start in the morning at 11 o'clock for induction ceremony. The breakfast is from between 8 and 10 a.m. is the breakfast. Then we set up between 10 and 11. And then the inductees march in together with the color guard right at 11 o'clock. And we start with the inductees, the formal induction ceremony. And that'll, as I said, be transmitted by internet worldwide.
And that will be held right there at the hotel in the ballroom, right? Correct?
Correct. The good thing about it, the hotel is so large and so good that when you get there, the people coming in by car, you park in the garage. You never touch your car again until you leave because everything that's done is all on the same floor of the hotel. The seminars, the fish castings, the tables, the pro show, the dinner, the breakfast. It's all on the same floor of the hotel. So it just spread out and large, and it's going to be a very, very nice, nicely run event. Newly renovated, like I said, so we're looking forward to it.
So the greet and meet event will take place on Saturday?
Correct, yes. Friday is strictly people arriving, seeing each other, and then enjoying a pro show. That's Friday.
Right.
Everything with the Hall of Fame will be the Saturday all day, Saturday and Sunday.
Great.
We'll finish up Sunday normally about 3 o'clock, 3:30 is normal time we normally get done.
Well, that's going to be a very, very, very special event.
Big event.
It's going to be a very special event with all the fans that'll be there, be able to meet all these great champions, all these inductees, and meeting you personally because, I mean, Steve Canton is somebody to reckon with as well. I mean, you're not only the director there, but you back in your days, you were a boxer yourself, right?
Oh, yes, I had my time. That's what happens right now. My head's not working quite right. You know, I had about 146 fights between amateur and pro through the years, boxed in the Air Force, won European titles. But when I finished that, I was promoting shows all over the world, and you've been to a few of the promotions themselves.
Yes.
I ended up promoting worldwide, managing fighters, training fighters, writing for the magazines, co-host on a national show with Smitty out there for 7 years, your buddy. And now I've had the gym, our gym, SJC Boxing here in Fort Myers. We'll be celebrating 34 years in Fort Myers in March.
Amazing.
And we started the program show a year and a half ago in partnership with the school board, a mentoring program for kids, at-risk kids, where what we do is we take in the kids in the afternoon who are able to come in the afternoon from school, 12:30 to 3. We give them a full lunch, mentoring, gym training, and send them home with a snack.
Well, that's great.
The kids who are in school at that time, they are invited to come during normal gym hours at night, Monday through Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. And those kids, their families get free groceries all during the month at no charge. They shop groceries right from our pantry, take them home. So that's been good. We started, as I said, a year and a half ago. We had one pilot school, 3 kids as a test to see how it would go. As of today, we now have 133 kids in the program in 38 schools. We've had 4 high school graduates already and 6 others that are close to graduating. So that's a great program.
That's great. Now, who sponsors this program?
Well, we do. We sponsor. We got a grant about a year ago to start the program. And right now, we have no funding, but as we're growing, so we have a gala dinner scheduled for March the 10th to raise funds so we can keep it going because it's pretty tough when you got that quantity of people. We've been doing this all this time, and it's with volunteers. And I do have a director that I give a salary to that comes in the daytime, Carla De Silva, who's just fabulous. She makes their lunch for the kids every day and mentors them, and we train them, and so it's good. But we do need funds for this thing desperately. SJCBoxing.com. We have a donate page. We have a new website that we just launched. Check it out. Donate to our mentor program. We're building the future with our kids, getting them ready.
Can you give me that website again, please?
It's www.sjcboxing.com.
sjcboxing.com.
sjcboxing.com. It's been newly revamped and just re-released. Another interesting thing is that we had a documentary that was completed by John Bafar, who's a 9-time Emmy Award winner, and he did a documentary on our program, and he chronicles some of the kids that came in a gym with real problems a year ago, some with alcohol and drug addiction, others with the PTSD. We had a 19-year-old Marine sniper from 2 wars that came out 80% disabled with PTSD, came in a gym. We have other problem kids that came in there. So what happens with the documentary is they chronicle each kid, how they started, how they progressed, and where they are now. Each one of the kids can say individually, when the year has been up, that it was worth the fight. They struggled, they worked hard, but it was worth the fight. So the title of the documentary is Worth the Fight.
Great.
And the interesting thing about it is the Fort Myers Film Festival is going to feature this film with their 5-day broadcast starting May 17th. World premiere will be May 17th in Fort Myers
Well,
with
that,
the documentary Worth the Fight, 60-minute documentary from John Bafar. He's again 9-time Emmy Award winner and claims this might be the best one he's ever done.
well,
Pretty cool.
it's good to hear that because, I like to see more people around the country, you viewers out there watching. You see what's going on with Steve Canton out there in St. Petersburg, actually Fort Myers. The St. Petersburg with the Hall of Fame going to be held. You have your
Correct.
gym in Fort Myers, correct?
Yes, Joe. The gym is in Fort Myers, and as I said, we'll be celebrating 34 years. It's so well known internationally that this little town of Fort Myers has hosted 76 fighters from 76 different countries of fighters, and only Gleason's in New York has had more different countries in it training than we have in little town of Fort Myers. So we've got that legacy. We also boast the oldest boxing ring still in use in the world in our gym, the Centerpiece. It's an old 3-rope, 16-foot certified ring that dates back to the 1930s from New York City, my hometown and yours, Joe. It's right here in the gym. A lot of tradition, history. We have the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame Museum. It's set up in the same building as the gym, separate from the gym, but there's glass walls that you can see in and out between the gym and the museum, which gives a lot of inspiration to the kids.
Can you tell me a little bit about the Hall of Fame and what days is it open, and and what fees are involved, to people to get
Yes,
there? If they're in Fort Myers,
we have right. The Hall of Fame here in Fort Myers is at 4220 Cleveland Avenue. It's in the same building as the SJC Boxing Gym. It is open all the time. The gym is open, which is Monday through Friday. We're there from 12:30 to 3 in the afternoon. We're back again from 6 to 8 p.m. at night, Monday through Friday. However, anytime during the day, other than those times, anytime during the weekend, if somebody's in town, wants to go to the museum, all I need is a quick phone call and I'll meet individually each person and take them on a tour personally. So we've got that option always available because I live so close to the gym purposely. I'm 0.8 of a mile away, and that's my other office. So we love it. We spend time there all day, all night, so people can come and go. What's interesting I like is many times we have Hall of Famers come to visit, and when they do, they go into the gym itself and spend time with the kids and give real inspiration to them. I know last year we had our old friend, yours and mine, Joe, David Tua, was inducted in the Hall of Fame last year. And he flew into Fort Myers because he wanted to have a reunion with me first. So he stayed here at the house with me. He went to the gym for a couple of days and worked with the kids, went to the museum there. Then he drove with us to induction weekend, had a great weekend where he got inducted, came home with me, spent another day or two with the kids, and then flew back to New Zealand. So that's great and great for the kids. And we look forward to this is on an ongoing basis with many different Hall of Famers.
Yeah, that's great. That's good that he did that. I mean, he came all the way from New Zealand, all the way to Florida to give you get inducted, but then he gave you the time with the kids. That's so nice of a champion to do that. I remember refereeing
Yeah,
David Tuat against Lennox
I've
Lewis.
seen Rob. And
Yeah, I remember refereeing that fight here in Las Vegas. I tell you, he was a banger. He was like a Mike Tyson type of guy, really built, much shorter than Lennox Lewis, but the guy can punch. He had good speed, and his legs they were like trunks. And he still works out now.
yeah,
I see him working out now. He still stays in great shape. I can't believe how good he looks.
he does. He looks great. He still trains. He eats well. He's remarried. Helen, his wife, is super. They're great people. They keep in contact constantly with us. Our mentor program. I want to say this one other thing though. As I said, we got a grant we started with last year, 50,000, which we went through, and it was needed because it grew so quickly and rapidly. Now it's still growing. And what happened was we got the grant from what they call the Southwest Community Foundation, which is a fine organization. They changed their name to the Collaboratory a few months back. When they did that, they also changed their policies and they no longer can fund individual nonprofits. And we have been a nonprofit since 1992, but they couldn't fund us anymore, which is a real problem because our program is taking off and growing so well, but we got no funds whatsoever to maintain it. So what the collaboratory did, since they like the program and can't fund it, they opened up their facility for us to have a gala dinner. And we're going to have the gala dinner March 10th coming up in 5 weeks. So we're going to try to get sponsors for the gala dinner. We're going to try to sell dinner tickets and have a live auction and try to raise funds so we can keep it alive, because we have to keep it alive. It's just too good for the kids. And we also have a legacy trust fund we're trying to set up because we want the gym, which is, again, 34 years old in March. We want the museum, which is set up now, to be ongoing when I'm gone. So we're setting up this legacy trust fund. So we need the help, all the help we can get to maintain it. But the biggest thing I'm concerned about is the kids. It's so good about what's happening, but we're very worried about it because there's no funds to maintain it. So we hope we can be successful with the dinner. We hope that maybe there's a few listeners that can donate or send funds in, because the kids are our future, and we've had such good success with them. We don't want to end that.
We want the email address, where the page where they can go to if they want to make a donation for that, to keep that fund going.
Right. My email address, sjcboxing@hotmail.com. The website, sjcboxing.com, has a lot of information with the mentor program on it and buttons for donations. And you can go to the gala dinner site on the website there and get the tickets or make donations, whatever. Check out, if you will. We need the help of the community because our time is limited. Joe and I go back a lot of years, and a lot of our friends have passed on, so we're still carrying the torch. And as long as we're here, we're going to keep on carrying the torch. So we want help. So when we're gone, it'll be gone after us too.
We're going to be kicking some butt out there and keeping these kids on the right track, making sure that they follow our footsteps, see where you have gone through your accomplishment, my accomplishment. But we want these kids, I want the parents out there, or your legal guardians, whoever's taking care of your young kids, to get them on the right track, keep them involved with some kind of a sport. It could be baseball, it could be boxing, it could be whatever sport it is. Keep the kids active. Keep them, where they can do things. Keep them out of gangs, out of drugs. There's so many things that are going wrong in this country right now. I like to see more programs like what Steve Canton is doing out there today. There's not every day you find a Steve Canton around that does so much for the kids. I mean, you have over 150 kids involved in the program. So many, about 48 kids in the gym coming every day?
Yes, we do. We have about anywhere from 11 to 15 kids in the daytime with that session. At nighttime, we're at about 40 kids at night, which is quite a bit.
Yeah.
But we're having fun with it, and they're doing a great job. Some of the kids are competing, and I got a problem, Joe, with training these kids. I just don't know how to train the amateurs too well, so I train them like pros. And what's happening, these kids are fighting like pros, and without experience, they're beating kids they're not even supposed to be fighting against. It's amazing. I got this little 14-year-old kid. In 1 year in boxing, he started when he was 13 years old. He's already had 3 state championships that he's won. Wow. And we've got another kid that's in the program, Mario, who lost over 100 pounds in 1 year. He was severe drug and alcohol, divorced, got fired, suicidal a year ago. Now he's going to be fighting at 156 pounds. He's won 2 belts, state championships already. He wants to be a pro fighter. And he says when he's done being a Hall of Fame fighter, which is his goal now, he wants to become a trainer and carry on the legacy with SJC. So we've got a lot of things going besides the kids that are doing well in school. We've got the amateur program that I don't know how to train them as amateurs, and they're fighting as little miniature pros. That one kid called that little 14-year-old kid. He said, he can't be a kid. He must be a 42-year-old midget.
That's like Mike Tyson. When Mike Tyson started, he was 12, 13 years old. I met him when he was 13 years old. He said he came up to me. He was, in trouble and whatnot. I gave him a couple of words. He says, Joe, you gave me good advice back then. He said, how did I do? I said, oh, apparently you did very well. You took my advice. That was good. But he was Mike Tyson. So many other young folks out there are going through a difficult time. They need people like Steve Canton and myself out there to keep on paying it forward, helping these kids out. With that said, Steve, listen, we're looking forward to seeing you at the end of June at the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. Once again, take care. God bless you. And you fans out there, please donate to the Steve Canton. You got the email address, sjc@gmail.com. sjcboxing@gmail.com, or just go to sjc.com. You see all the information where you can make donations to help out with the Steve Canton boxing program and the Hall of Fame. Don't forget, June 30th and then July 1st and 2nd. That's going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Enjoy it. We'll see you guys next week. Steve Canton, say thanks a lot for everything. We'll see you next time around. Take care. God bless.